Roy Rogers. Missing 01/15/36, Unk. Bisbee, Arizona. Age at disappearance. For years. Bisbee, Arizona, is located at the far southeastern corner of the state, just 2 miles from the Mexico border. The city sits among the only mountain range for at least 10 miles in any direction. The locals call these hills the Guadalupe Mountains, and they hold a portion of the Geronimo Trail. On January 15, 1936, Mr. and Mrs. Ira Rogers and their 4-year-old son, Roy, were visiting Roy's uncle at his home, the L.W. McDonald Ranch. There were conflicting reports this was the grandfather's property, but it does appear this was the uncle's home. While the family was visiting, Roy somehow disappeared from the ranch. The local sheriff was notified almost immediately, and a massive search was initiated. The first day of searching produced no results. The following day, the military commanding general from Mexico heard of the search and sent his private plane to assist in the search until the boy was found. The United States Army sent 3 planes from March Field in California and a detachment of Indian scouts from Fort Huachuca responded to track the boy. The Indian trackers lost the track of the boy almost immediately. Several teams of canines also attempted to pick up the boy's scent and could not find anything. They knew that Roy was wearing only a light shirt and overalls, and the temperatures were into the 20s at night. Everyone feared the boy could not live through the cold nights. I have personally heard many concerns come from professional search and rescue personnel, but I have never heard the following, which was documented in the January 18, 1936 edition of the Ironwood Globe Daily. The possibility that 4-year-old Roy Rogers was in the hands of renegade Indians, as considered today, as Indian trackers, aviators, and soldiers hunted the missing boy in the wild Guadalupe Mountains near the Mexican border. Search for the boy was centered near the boundary today after natives reported a band of outlaw Apache Indians sometimes crossed the international boundary in the vicinity of the L.W. McDonald Ranch. 500 searchers covered the region surrounding the McDonald Ranch for 4 days. Herschel Long from the state of Arizona Highway Department was searching a rugged region 2 miles from the ranch and found a boot protruding from the rocks. He had found Roy. The boy's body was found under a protruding rock ledge. The report stated that he was wearing one boot and was found deceased. Authorities claimed they felt the boy died the first night. Summary: there are many children that are found under rock ledges, logs, and other materials that FLIR would never penetrate and airplanes pilots cannot see through. Considering the location where Roy was found, it could be thought of as a miracle he was even located. Roy disappeared from his uncle's home, not his home. It is always puzzling to me that so many kids disappear from friends and relatives' homes and seem to be eventually found in that 1.5 to 2 mile range. It's always difficult to understand why children do not respond to searchers calling their names if they are indeed in the area and if they hear the searchers. In Missing 41 Western United States, I documented a series of disappearances in Arizona in very remote areas, simi 1AR to this case. 4 disappearances of boys between the ages of 2 and 5 occurred at the following intervals: 1936, 5 years old; 1938, 4 years old; 1942, 2 years old; 1945, 2 years old. The next boy close to this age bracket doesn't disappear in Arizona until 1967. 4 boys vanish in Arizona in 9 years with an age spread of 3 years. There are certain consistencies in specific areas. In Arizona, I have documented the disappearance of 14 yes, with only one lone 79-year-old female in 2004, Joan Shelton. The disappearances occur at such intervals as not to raise an alarm to law enforcement, yet do show a consistent pattern. Trent Richardson. Missing 07/23/98-4:30 p.m., Mount Graham, AZ. Age at disappearance, 3 years. Mount Graham sits approximately 60 miles northeast of Tucson and 30 miles west of the New Mexico border in a 15-mile-long mountain range surrounded by desert. This mountain range has Soldier Creek and Hospital Flat Recreation Area. Mount Graham has an elevation of 10,720 feet and is the dominant peak in the region. On July 23, 1998, the Richardson family left their Mesa, Arizona home for a few days of camping in the mountains. They had driven to the Ash Creek trailhead located at the Columbine Visitor Center near the base of Mount Graham. This area had an elevation of 9,300 feet. As THFA_Millie was having an annual reunion, Mr. Richardson was assisting the group by chopping wood, and he got distracted and lost sight of Trent. The family got alarmed and started to run through the area yelling and looking for the boy. He had vanished. Deputies and Forest Service personnel searched through the night with night vision glasses, continually calling Trent's name and never getting an answer. Helicopters searched until dark. Bloodhounds scoured the area trying to pick up a scent, and nothing seemed to be working in finding the boy. At dawn on July 24th, a group of Greenlee County deputies and searchers were walking up the base of Mount Graham in a last-ditch effort to find something. A July 23, 1998, article in the Today's News Herald had the following. 3 members of the team stopped and, in a quiet moment, heard singing. It was a high-pitched voice, the kind that _ONL belonged to a kid or a female. We knew that no matter what, we had to find it, said Patrick Sexton, Search and Rescue Coordinator from Greenlee County. The sound came from about 450 yards, 1,350 feet above them. Rescuers climbed the mountain side and called the child's name, but Trent would stop humming and hide when he heard their voices. Rescuers came to the boy's makeshift campsite at 7:40 a.m. Friday, his blanket spread beneath bushes sheltered by a boulder. Trent sat on a rock humming happily. Gibberish. He was about 2 miles from the place his father had last seen him. When you look at a topographic map of Mount Graham, it appears almost impossible for a 3-year-old boy to climb to the summit. Later in the same article that I quoted above, there is the following statement. Trent appeared in good health. His older sister, Malia Mlanek of Mesa, believes is miracle for a 3-year-old to be okay for that length of time, where anything could have happened, had to be help from above. There were definitely angels with him. Trent was taken to a local hospital and found to be in good condition. Summary. Trent had climbed higher than 95% of all children in his age bracket that had been found in search and rescue incidents, according to Lost Person Behavior by Robert Kester. This incident reminds me of the disappearance on July 2, 1938, of Alfred Beal Hartz inside the Rocky Mountain National Park. Alfred disappeared from his parents as they walked along a river. Days later, a husband and wife saw a small boy on a rock ledge high up on a mountainside with no adults in sight. National Park Service personnel heavily searched the area, but Alfred was never found. His story is chronicled in Missing 411 Western United States. It seems odd that Trent was able to get out of the area so quickly, that he never heard his parents call one ing for him. It seems abnormal that bloodhounds were in the area that same night and were unable to track the boy's scent. Mount Graham is located on the eastern edge of the Tucson Missing Persons Cluster. Refer to Missing 411 Western United States for other disappearances in this region.